Hey guys, welcome back to another video of F1 Esports 2025 round 9. This is the first race of the last event, and we are still around like 50 points behind the Mercedes team, which I think is leading by another 30 points on Red Bull in between us. So they have a pretty hefty lead, not gonna lie, and we are looking to come back stronger from the first two events. We kind of turned it around in event 2 a little bit, showing our good form once again compared to event 1, but we still need to make a little bit more of an improvement, and we are looking to do so as we do a very mediocre Q1 lap, or first lap in Q1, which we go out again and make sure we just improve a little bit, and we know that there's so much time on this track, and especially with all the cutting that we have to do during the lap. And we have good pace, so as we see, we do a 5.6 now in Q1, which is really fast lap, and we go in P1 or P3, sorry, as Isma and Jarno both beat it by a little bit, and we are safely through to Q2. And I didn't exactly see who was out there in Q1, but I believe no big names have gone out in Q1, as we see now. Yeah, Josh, 16, Alvaro, Istvan, sorry, a big name that went out in Q1. We are trying to catch Mercedes, so Istvan being out in Q1 in 16th or 17th place is really good news for us. He's out of position big time, so we have to capitalize. And we know that Mexico is going to be always a crazy race with the tire strategies and so on. So Barry goes P1 with a 3.3, which is extremely fast. We go P2 with a 4.1. We thought these lap times would be safe, to be honest. We didn't really feel like we had to go out again, as Barry actually doesn't go out again, keeping 2 sets of tires for Q3. But myself, I just didn't want to risk it. I knew there was a high chance it would be through, but I didn't want to risk it, and I wanted to just go out again. I'd rather be in the top 10 for the race than be, you know, P12, P13. So yeah, that was the reasoning why I went out again. 5.6 sector 1, extremely good, and we're now gonna stay on board for the rest of the lap and just have a look on how it's looking for Q3. But I felt really good. I always feel good in Mexico because we have a little bit of a slide there. We lose quite a bit of time, actually, at least half a tenth, if not maybe a little bit more, with the exit that I got. But using all my ERS down to 1%, it was the most efficient way we could find. 2.7 split, really good, relatively good. Otis lap is extremely fast at 2.4. GG's to him for that lap, so he's easily through to Q3, and so are we with a little improvement of just over a tenth. 3.1, we go in P2. Yeah, easy, good to go to Q3 now. Barry in P4 with the first lap he did, but as you can see, Danny Bersney in P13 out in Q2 again. The second Mercedes out of position, and this is really good for us. Both me and Barry are looking strong, and we're looking to get a good top 5 finish with both cars. So if we could actually manage to do that in the race, we're going to score or outscore them by quite a big margin. So yeah, but as you saw, Red Bull there with all 2 cars on Q3. So they are not messing around. As we hear on the first run of Q3, we unfortunately invalidate on the entry to the S's, which was a bit stupid, but this was on used tires. I just wanted to fully send it in case I could do a really good lap. But yeah, it is what it is. Now on to the last run of Q3. We're going to stay on board for the whole lap as we hit the inside curb there, which is actually not bad. And you have to eat both of these curbs as well. And we are now up by just about 0.04 of a second, using down to 30% my ERS. 5.7 sector 1, not the best. I went faster in Q2, so definitely improvement there. And you have to touch the inside curb on all these places. It just rotates the car a little bit more, and we are more than a tenth up now. Now make sure I don't invalidate this entry to the S's, which is decent. I had to lift a little bit. If I take it perfectly, it is flat, at least with our setup. We are now 160, 170, 180 up, and using again all my ERS down to 1%. 1.9 split, extremely fast. We're looking to get maybe on pole position here, but we got a little bit too wide on the entry to sector 3. I really wanted to get pole. I just wanted to push for it. I didn't really mind if I was gonna make a mistake or something. I just really wanted to get in the top 2, top 3 positions there, which I probably could have by just being a little bit more careful, as Barry gets P4, really good lap by him. But yeah, my split and the way my times in the last sectors would have put me in the fight for pole there for sure. So we will be starting in P10 unfortunately, but yeah, luckily Barry managed to do a good lap and he's in P4. But nonetheless, it's still good position, because in Mexico it's really easy to overtake, and if you have a good strategy, well, easy relatively compared to the other tracks, if you have a good strategy and good tires, you can easily make moves with no problem here. As we're going to start on the hard tires, so we're going to do a hard medium, and I think many people are, but there is quite a few medium hard runners, more than we expected, and we get a really good launch, already overtaking Tom Manley off the start. Tamas Gal will be the next victim if we can manage to get him down the inside here. And this is where you notice, or you start to have a little idea of the top speed of everyone else around you, and it looked quite alright from our perspective. Side by side with Tamas, all good, and maybe we can get Isma here too for P7, but I don't see too much point of doing that or risking too hard. But we still have to stay on the outside, and I think I get hit from behind and I almost half spin, and well, I do half spin. Thankfully we managed to keep the car on track. We are 3 wide currently on the double right here, and yeah, I just stayed on the outside because I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to keep my nose clean, and we were all just keeping our own space. And I think me and Isma got hit from behind, and I got the worst end of it, and I almost half spun from that incident. But luckily I had the reaction in time to keep the car on track, because that would have been so bad, especially with the good start that we have now, myself in P8 and Barry in the top 3, I believe. So yeah, and now most people in front of us are actually on the medium tire, except Isma, I believe. So nothing happened until lap 13, where the first 2 cars are pitting, which is Barry, and I forgot who the other person was. I apologize. You guys might have seen it. But yeah, Barry and someone else go for the pits in lap 13, all because they don't want to get undercut. They were both on the medium tire, so yeah, it's just crucial to have track position here if you're on that medium hard tire, and you want to just build as big of a gap as possible. As now a few other cars starting to respond. I believe that was Otis Lawrence, if I'm not wrong, and another Mercedes there from the back doing a very big undercut, because I guess that's the only way they can do anything. And now we're 2 laps after the first pit stops, and I believe here Jarno goes in. Actually, no, he doesn't. Sorry, Thomas Ronner goes in on lap 15. As you can see on the mini-maps, if you guys have kept an eye, there was quite a big fight in the net lead positions with one of the Visa Cash Apps of Ulash, I believe. I think he was just obviously helping his teammate Tom Manley, which is in the other strategy, and he slowed the pack down a lot, and they lost many seconds. And Freddy has now pitted on lap 16, and Jarno will pit lap 17, and this is a very long first stint on the medium for them. So this worked out perfectly, because now they're gonna come out right on the train with them, but on 4 or 5 lap fresher tires. So yeah, they're gonna have a huge advantage and will overtake very easily. But myself and Isma gonna work together now and go a bit longer to have to go onto the medium tire, and we're gonna overtake him now on the straight, and we're gonna gain a lot on the net leaders with this change, or not lose as much, sorry. And I'm also thinking of the cars behind. Tamas Gal has been gapped, so it's just me, Isma and Duncan at the moment in the top 3, which means I could maybe pit a lap later, but the undercut is so big that I didn't want to lose my track position. So I believe at the end of this lap is already when we go in, and already we were thinking about the situation, and everyone on the medium hard strategy got held up by Ulash, and they went so slowly that if I'm able to catch that train instantly out of the pits and have fresh tires to pass them, that would be the most ideal scenario. So that is what we aimed for, and that's what we're gonna do now. And you saw Isma didn't really follow me into the pits, and I believe because he knew he had the DRS, so he had the DRS from me on that lap, and we had the gap to the cars ahead behind to do an extra lap in case. But yeah, here I wasn't too pleased with the exit of my pits. I was a little bit further behind, than I expected or wanted to. But you can see Tom Manley right in front of me on the same strategy, but he did pit a lap earlier, I believe, from behind. So that is not really good news because he is ahead of me, but on just one lap older, and it's gonna be extremely hard to overtake, especially when it's just one lap difference. If it was 2 or 3, maybe then it would be a bit easier, but one lap difference on the tires is really not big enough in this game, at least, to make a big enough difference to overtake him. But we'll give it our best. And as you saw, and as we predicted, we are at the back of the train of the net leaders straight away out of the pits. So we got fresh tires, brand new rubber against people who have pitted 5-6 laps ago onto the hard and even harder tire. So we're in the perfect situation here to go for a really good result, and Barry as well leading the race at this point. So everything is looking like going to plan, except for the Red Bulls, who have had a huge advantage with the strategy they had to go a bit later, and they are already way further up the road than I am. So yeah, they're going to be the main threats to Barry, that's for sure. As Tom Manley gets past Istvan now, it should be an easy pass for me as well, hopefully sooner rather than later, because I want to use these fresh tires as early and as quickly as I can to get past as many cars as possible. And we have Alfie and Isma right behind me, who are on one lap fresher tires. That is because, remember, I pitted by myself because I was leading the train and I didn't want to get overtaken on the straight to then be behind them after the pit. So I was just kind of forced to pit there in that lap, and I think that was the best choice from me anyway. But here we see that this one gets a little bit of a worse exit than me, and we use my grip advantage to just down the inside, enter sector 3, and move is now done onto P12, which is like net P10 at this point, I believe. So we still have 15 laps to make moves, and it's looking like we're gonna make another one right here on Josh Iru, who's on old hards, and I believe, yeah, on no ERS as well. So easy as you like. The most satisfying overtakes to do is these ones where they just have no ERS and you just kind of blast past them without any issue at all. And we are now gonna focus our we're gonna go focus on Ulash, who's also on old hards, and he was the one that did the undercut and destroyed the leaders gap that they wanted to build. So thank you, Ulash, but I knew Barry was not happy with him whatsoever. I had him screaming down my ears for quite a few laps, which is funny now, of course, after some time has passed, but in the moment it was, yeah, it was not a fun experience for him and for us as well, having to listen to all of it. But nonetheless, we're gonna go down the outside maybe here. No, he's a little bit too far. It seems like he's a bit lower on the wing than I am, but here Thomas in front of us, as you saw, had a little bit of a moment, and I believe he may have wing damage, so that's a very good news to us. That means we can maybe overtake him in the next lap or so, and we're gonna go around the outside of of Ulash here. He does touch me a little bit, but we have the inside for the next corner and fresher tires, so easy move here. He's still trying to hold it side by side. I'm not too sure why, because now he lost a place to Alfie as well, so that was just not very well played by him, to be honest. But yeah, on to Thomas now. We need to be careful to not use my ERS, otherwise Alfie will pass me, and since he's on fresher tires, if he passes me once, I'm never going to really pass him back. I'm just never really going to have the chance to do that, so we need to make sure we prioritize Alfie for a bit until we get our ERS back up and get Thomas in the meantime. And Tom Manley is now P6 right behind Danny Bersney, who, remember, Danny was out in Q2, so it shows that medium hard strategy with a super early undercut, even before Barry pitted, it was still viable. He's in the top 5 right now, Danny, and there's 12 laps to go, and I'm sure that was his best chances of getting good points. So he's doing all he can. We go down the inside of Thomas now, who has wing damage. He's not gonna fight it, thankfully, and now we can relax. Hopefully Thomas keeps them behind for a lap or two, which he doesn't. But yeah, now onto the end of the lap, and we are gonna overtake Danny, and it should be relatively easy. We are super close to him, super good slipstream, and Alfie and Ismail are both following me, to be fair. They're not really getting stuck behind anyone, They are just following me through, which, yeah, that's all they have to do, to be honest. And we are now... Well, Tom Manley is the leading car on this strategy, but we're the second car on the hard medium, and there's still so many laps to go. But it just felt a little bit too late as Isma tries to dive it down the inside here. Very risky move from him, which doesn't work at all. Yeah, that was a bit optimistic, but I guess he just had to try. But yeah, the tires were just gone. I'm skipping through the laps now because nothing really happened, and Tom Manley obviously wasn't attacking Freddy those few laps. I'm not too sure why, but I believed we could have fought for the podium here for sure. But Tom just kind of sat there. I don't know if he just didn't have enough pace. But yeah, Tom was just kind of the wall that I couldn't really get through, as he had pretty much the same tires as me. So I will be stuck behind him for the rest of the race, and we will have to be... we will have to take the P6, maybe a P5 or 4 if there's any penalties ahead. We don't really, at this point, we don't really know what happened at the front, so it's always good to be as close as you can in case people get a 1-second penalty or a 3-second penalty. So yeah, that's my only focus at this point, and obviously not get overtaken by Isma, because these are really good points for myself and Barry, and that really skyrockets us up closer to Mercedes. But Red Bull, I think, in this race, finishing P1 and P4, I believe, will take the lead of the Constructors' Championship. So they are getting further away as Mercedes is getting closer to us, or we're getting closer to them. So I guess now our focus shifts towards Red Bull more than Mercedes, which we knew that was good. That was a high chance that was going to happen. So we are fully ready for that, nonetheless. And Tom just saving tires at the last lap, I guess, of the race. No, I'm sure his tires are very well dead at this point. And we've done, I think, 18 laps on the medium, which is as long as the Arno's first stint. So yeah, it is what it is. We're gonna take the P6 here. Not a bad result considering the situation. I'm sure if Tom wasn't there, I could have done a little bit more damage. I could have definitely fought my way closer to the podium, fighting with Otis and Jarno at the front. So yeah, Barry gets a P2, which is fantastic. Good, very well managed by him, especially when he was one of the first ones to pit. So his tires must be one of the worst on the whole grid. So yeah, P2 and P6 for us, P1 and P4 for Red Bull. And I believe Mercedes don't score points, if I'm correct, or maybe 1 or 2. So yeah, they actually do not score any points. Mercedes, they fell back down to 14th and 16th, and Thomas as well down to P17 with the wing damage. Yeah, I was not satisfied with the race in the moment because I was so frustrated with Tom, but I knew that it was still very well managed. There was nothing else that I could have really done differently in that race. If only I didn't invalidate in my quali lap and just went for a little bit of a safer position in qualifying, which I normally do. But that's why I just wanted to switch it up a bit and see if it will make a change. And yeah, if I did start P5 or P6, then I could have maybe had a bit better chances, but it's just impossible to say on a grid like this, and anything can happen during the races. So yeah, we take the points when we can. 8 points for me and 18 for Barry. 26 catching to Merck. So yeah, one more good race from us and we will be right with them. But we cannot let Red Bull run away too much. There's only 3 races left. Thank you guys for watching today's race. I'll see you guys in the next one, which is Brazil, my favorite track. And goodbye.